Good evening from Ancaster. I'm Eric Howlett. With me is my brother Hayden Howlett. Outside it might be cold, but inside right now it's definitely going to be heating up. As right now we've got an Ancaster hockey game where the Avalanche are host to the St. Catharines Falcons. Two teams that are really good in their division. Second for the Avalanche in the division. Fourth for the St. Catharines Falcons. And the Avalanche tonight are definitely looking to get within 2 points with a win tonight of the leading Carolina Corvairs. Hayden, what do you think they can do tonight to achieve that dream?
Well, right now it's going to be a battle of two really hot goaltenders. The Avalanche currently riding an 8-game win streak, and a lot of that's been on the back of Ryan Dugas. His .930 save percentage is one of the best in the league, behind only that man in the net for St. Catharines, Owen Savory. So really it's going to be a battle of the goaltending wills. Will Ryan Dugas be able to keep his team in, and will the Avalanche be able to beat Owen Savory tonight?
Ryan Dugas has a 15-4-1 save record so far in the league. He's got a 209 goals against and a .930 save percentage. His counterpart Savory, 21-6-1. 205 goals against and a .937 save percentage. So you're right when you said that it's going to be a goaltending match. Who will outdo the other?
And you can see that goals against is so similar. It's only off by 4/10 of a goal. When your goals against are that similar in a game, you know the goalies are keeping a lot of those pucks out of the net.
Shot just missed wide by the Avalanche, thrown off the side of the goal. Kennery from behind the net. Behind the net, chasing after was Hikash. Hikash throws it along the boards. Pushed back around by Liam Dunda. Throw up along the boards, Zach Lawrence. Through the middle, Liam Dunda on the far side. Shot off the blocker. And it's sent into the screening. Nice early save from Ryan Dugas. And the Avalanche, they've been really playing exceptional defense as of late. They used to have the 11th best. They used to have the 11th best goals against. Now they're up to 6th.
Yeah, that 420 goals per game. When you're getting that kind of goal production from your team, your goalies can afford to be a little bad. You can have a bad night here and there, but Ryan Dugas appears to never seem to have a bad night, and he's getting at least 4 goals a game on average for him to deal with. That's a really good cushion for any goalie to have.
Andrew Summerall passes it across, just missing it was Michael Davies. Davies gets bumped up a bit along the boards. Schwick throws it up, goes into the feet of Somerville. Perth Schwick dumps it into the Avalanche zone where Kalen McPhee behind the net. McPhee emerges, throws it through the center, just missing Bridgewater. Goes to the other goaltender Savory, and it's covered up. Speaking of Bridgewater, the man who was scratched to start the season, he now has 17 goals and leads the team in shorthanded goals with 4.
Bridgewater has definitely proven to the coaching staff that an early first impression might not be everything. As you said, he's had 17 goals since then, which doesn't lead the team, but he does have the most amount of shorthanded goals both on the team and in the league with 4. And that's pretty impressive. He's a guy you can really rely on.
Bonecki shot off the pad of Savory. What a quick opportunity from the defenseman. Nick Bro in the corner. Down below the circles. Cabral, the newcomer, throws it out in front, and the big glove of Savory comes out and robs Nick Bro.
That's a nice early stop for Owen Savory to make. You know, he's dialed in. He's always dialed in. But that save percentage is crazy high, and that goal against crazy low. So you know that for them to beat the man who has saved almost in his last name, they're going to need to get some hard shots, and that glove hand is red hot. So they're definitely going to have to try to go that 4 inches between the leg and the arm.
Van Loon taking the face-off, loses it, and the Falcons try to get out of their zone, but it's turned over by Noah Polick. Adam Mayer, great pass from Skropolis off the blocker far side, gets bounced out in front, and the Falcons recover. Busting out of their own zone is Polick as he dumps it down. Dugas intercepts. He reverses it for Skropolis, rings off the top of the glass, intercepted, shot just missed wide. Thrown behind the net. Avalanche trying to recover. Skropolis getting hit hard. bumped up by Tyler MacArthur. Puck is sent out to the Falcon zone. Tipped in by Zach Lawrence, who goes for a change. Raposo to Skropolis. Skropolis tries to find an open man, just missing Liam Van Loon, and it's an icing against the Avalanche.
A pair that I've definitely been impressed with since he's come up is Johnny Skropolis and Liam Van Loon. They seem to have a little bit of a spark going together. Although Skropolis has played a lot of less games, he still has 15 points, 8 goals, and 7 assists, while Liam Van Loon currently leads the team in goals and points, is also still third in the league for rookie scoring. So you definitely got to know that when you have a chemistry like that going, it's always a good thing to have.
Tristan DeJong skids up through center, busts into the zone. DeJong reverse the shot into the glove of Ryan Dugas. He robbed Dante Felicetti.
Nice quick shot from Felicetti. It's still looking for his first goal of the year. He's a recent call-up for the Falcons. He doesn't have any points, but a nice shot like that, easy to test the goaltender Dugas, and Dugas clearly showing that he as well is on his game early on.
McPhee tries to bust out of the zone, but it's intercepted by the Falcons. Robinson from behind the net chips it off the boards, trying to get it back down. Dodges a hit from Liam Dunda. Out in front, great save by the right pad of Ryan Dugas. Liam Dunda behind the goal. Reverses for Felicetti. He lost it on a nice battle from the defense, trying to pass it across, just missing Tanner Brown, who reverses. Falcons with all the push right now. Liam Dunda at the circle. Pass it down, shot just missing the glove hand of Ryan Dugas, who looked like he might not have seen it. Oh, big hit! Dakota Miskolski! He nailed the defenseman for the Avalanche.
McPhee's going to be hurting after that one. Miskolski just ran him right over.
Puck flipped in the air as the Avalanche finally get the puck out. Hanaka battling hard, but he can't get it away from Busby.
That was a good shift from the Falcons. They're showing that they can get on the body. They've been doing really good at getting in on the forecheck really hard and fast, and they're getting on the body as well. And a nice hit from Miskolki goes to show you there they aren't afraid to get in deep and dirty.
No call going there as it looked like Davies went down a little bit too easy to some, and Cabral has the puck in the other end, gets a bit of a shoulder, a high one, and a penalty coming. Dakota Miskolski looks like he's getting a penalty.
Looks like they're actually giving it to
Cabral's getting the penalty.
Cabral, not exactly known. He's one of the new recently called. He's not known for penalties. He actually was. He's from the Blind River Beavers in Junior A, and he was actually a 50 goal scorer in midget. So he's not a guy that you expect to see go into the penalty box, but early on he's got his first penalty of the year. Not a great start for number 23. Definitely want to impress your coach and go into the sin bin within the first 5 minutes of the game. Not exactly an ideal start.
Falcons have a power play, 15:25 left in the period so far. Zach Lawrence on the other side after a save from Dugas deflected it there. Lawrence passes it across and he just misses his target. Circle in front, Lawrence has it up the circle. Pass out in front, off the stick of West, and it's saved by Dugas, who scrambles, and he manages to cover up on some nice passing from the St. Catharines Falcons.
And Ryan Dugas looked like a fish out of water there, throwing his arms around, but he was able to track it beautifully. But I will give the Avalanche defense some credit. They really clogged the middle of the ice, so the Falcons can't really go there. They did try, and of course all it led to was a few scrambled pucks.
Face-off one in the defensive zone by the Avalanche, who dump it down to Owen Savory.
2 minutes for handling the puck.
Savory leaves it for Busby. Busby from behind the net. Crosses center on a pass, and it's Robertson who dumps it back down to Busby. Busby getting pressured by Hadanaka, great penalty killer. He gets around him. Busby at the point. Pass it down to Lawrence. Pass out in front, just missing with Kyle West. Hadanaka has it, gets a bit of a hack on the hands by Davies, and he dumps it down. Busby in familiar territory in his own end. Gives it off so he can change. Behind the net, the Falcons come out with Andrew Somerville with the initial pass. Nice move from Lawrence, and he dumps it back down. Shot, trying to get it out, but great defensive play from the Falcons, but the Avalanche end up dumping it back down. 25 seconds left in the penalty kill for the Avalanche.
This second penalty, a power play unit, has not looked very good. They've been very sloppy trying to get the puck in, and once again another sloppy pass that just doesn't really go anywhere. If they want to get in on Ryan Dugas, and they really need to start doing that to generate some more offense, they're going to have to be able to break the zone with some speed.
Somerville trying to bust out of his own end, does. Crosses center, crosses the blue line, goes to the corner, deflects it, and the penalty is over for the Avalanche. 5-on-5 resumes as William Van Loon has it. Jaleel Adams battling along the corner. Adams tries to lift the stick of Van Loon. Puck gets out. Referee calling offside, but he calls it off. Cannery misses it, but it's picked up by the Avalanche. Van Loon can't get a pass that was intended by Ryan DeRizis. Raposo took a long shot right onto Owen Savory. Great interception from Hadanaka. He dangles but can't get around MacArthur. MacArthur dumps it off the board. Sturk Static has it, almost turn it over to the streaking Jonko Fulco. Fulco can't get the pass as Arbor Hikash passes it across to MacArthur. Noah Perlick breaks the line, tries to throw it down, does on Fulco. Great save by Dugas. Fulco tried to go top corner, far side, couldn't get it. Raposo battling along the boards. Puck gets poked loose. Dintino gets hit by Liam Van Loon, who dumps it just out of the zone, and the Avalanche go for a change.
The Avalanche have been a little bit on their heels after that penalty kill. Was successful against the Falcons, but they haven't been able to get much momentum as the Falcons have been playing with all of the momentum in the game so far and not much time on attack, and you're going to need to have that for the Avalanche to get past this high-powered Falcons team.
Keelan McPhee waits for his place to get in position. Pass across to Bridgewater. Push it up off the glass. There's the Falcons player, and it's in the center. Croucher has it. Deflects it back to his defenseman McPhee. Robertson turns it over, a bad one. Here he comes, nice deep move. Liam Dunda, great save. Dugas on a nice move from Dunda was able to stick with him and make the big pad save. Croucher trying to break out. Great tip by Woodhouse. He can't get in front of the defense. He goes for a hit and nails himself into the boards. Not Busby trying to flatten Woodhouse. Instead, he goes flying into the boards.
And Busby was playing that a little aggressively, and Woodhouse, the smaller guy, was able to get around him, and luckily for Busby, he just ends up going into the boards and not hurting himself. But the captain, Bryce Robertson, in the Avalanche zone, makes a horrible play right up the middle, turns that one right over in the slot. Not a very good spot to be turning it over. That's a high opportunity area, and they got lucky that Dugas was able to stay in position to make the save.
Ryan DeRenzis taking the face off. The newcomer wins it cleanly to Bernecki. Shot from Romeo, and it goes high and wide of the net on a cannon. Turned over by the Falcons. Avalanche can't get the puck back. Busting out of the zone is Somerville. Andrew Somerville chases after the puck, loses it to Romeo, but it's picked up by the Falcons. Just missing that centering pass was Tristan DeJong. He's got Cabral chasing after him, and he turns it over, but it's an offside call by the linesman.
Nick Bro doesn't like it too much, but from up here it did look like it was ever so slightly offside. So it would have been a really good play with the hand-eye from Bro. And the Avalanche were starting to get on something there. They were able to get behind the defense, and they were able to start a very short cycle shift, but they need to get more of that because Owen Savory has only had a handful of shots so far, and none of them have been too difficult. There's the one that he made the nice glove save on, but Owen Savory is going to be able to stop those most of the time anyway.
Kyle West tries to get around, but Dirk Static intercepts. Trying to get a reverse pass was Hadanaka Mayer on the other side, so he has to chase after he missed it. Hadanaka battling hard with Jaleel Adams, but Adams comes up with it as Kyle West. Pass it right back to Adams. Adams has West going through the middle. Great stick lift from Raposo, as now there's two Falcons who are caught behind the defense. Skropolis goes in on MacArthur. Hadnaka also in there, wins the puck battle. Pass it down to Woodhouse. Dumps it down. Chip, great play from Skropolis, but kicked away by the ever-alert Owen Savory.
That was a nice tip right onto the net by Woodhouse. That's the way you got to pressure the goaltender.
Kalen McPhee, solo job behind the net. Gets passed around by the Avalanche. Brunecki throws it down. Kennery chips it down anymore, shouldering. An attempted hit by Dentino was Van Loon. Puck chipped up by the Falcons. Dentino chips it in. Zach Lawrence. Tanner Brunecki trying to survey him. Shot out in front, blockered away, right back to the defenseman by Dugas. Brunecki can't get to it as Zach Lawrence has it. Puck out to Dentino, who's behind the net, battling with Woodhouse. And referee decides to call a whistle.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have your tickets available, I am going to read two numbers for tonight's door prizes. Please come up to the booth to collect your prize. Number 835-9042, number 835-9016.
Somehow the puck managed to get underneath the boards right behind Ryan Dugas.
Yeah, there's that tiny little slot where they make sure the boards can come out from the Zamboni door. And the puck managed to lodge itself behind there, and Dugas saw it and he threw his stick up in the air telling the referees so they could see that the puck had actually gone out.
Face off in the neutral zone. Hadnaka getting waved out for Kyle Kennery, who loses the face-off draw. Tanner Brown. Pass it across. Puck chipped, but now coming up with his Busby. He rings it around the boards. Felicetti tries to put it out in front, hit a body in front, but it didn't end up getting to anyone particular as Liam Dunda battles with it along the boards. Dunda, one hand on six, still managed to keep control as Felicetti has it. Felicetti pass across to Busby. Felicetti getting hit by Hadanaka, but Dunda, the big man, reverses to Felicetti. Some more great cycle play from the Falcons, and the Avalanche managed to chip it out as Liam Van Loon has it. Stays onside. Van Loon, nice move. What a move! Oh, he missed on the backhand. What an inside-out move that was. And he really tried to undress Busby, but he couldn't get the backhand to go.
What a goal that would have been. Liam Van Loon out of nowhere decides to undress Busby on his way to the net. He just missed the backhand though. Got to try to make sure he hits the net with that.
Puck out, Brunecki steps up as Skropolis throws a hit, and the Falcons regain possession. Thrown in the center, great interception. Calling off the bench was Macklin McPhee, brother of Kalen McPhee, and it's thrown up by Somerville. Davies has it. Across center, across the blue line, puck deflected by Raposo, chipped off with a stick of Skropolis and turns it over. Shot by Swick, and he misses the net. Miskolski circles at the circle, deflected off the shin pad of Raposo, but deflected back in. Miskolski bounces the puck off the glass, and it's tipped out by the Avalanche. Miskolski asks for a pass, gets it, deflects it down so he can go make a change. 6:48 left in the first period. 0-0 the score between the Falcons and the Avalanche. Dugas has the puck behind his own net. McPhee over to Croucher. Tries to pass it up to Woodhouse, but Croucher gets the puck back. And he gets hit hard by Kyle West. Referee says puck might have hit someone off the bench, so they're going to call a whistle. Some pretty good scoring chances, but I'd have to say the Falcons have the edge in this first period, don't you agree?
Yes, they definitely do have, especially the edge on time on attack. This period so far has been spent the majority of the time in the Avalanche zone. The thing the Avalanche need more is they need more than just a one-and-done opportunity. They need some more consistent time on attack and some offense. If they don't get that offense, it'll be really hard for them to be a very good defensive squad. The one thing that does go for them is St. Catharines is one of the most penalized teams in the league. I believe they still are the most penalized team in the league. So they're really going to have to bank on their special teams coming to the floor tonight.
Face off one, thrown down by MacArthur. Put back up, Nick Bro has it, gets swiped at by Foucault. And he puts it back in as Nick Bro has it. He passes it to a defenseman. Thrown up to the other side. It's Cabral. Stops up. Nick Bro. Pass out in front. Chipped. And going to his own goal. And some mayhem going in front of Owen Savory as the puck bounced a few times right in front of him.
That would have been a calamity in front of the net. One of the two defensemen just ran right into each other and then took out Owen Savory on their way by.
Romero Dintino pass back to his defenseman, MacArthur. Tyler MacArthur, the captain, breaks out of his own end. Dumps it down and goes for a change. Tanner Branecki breaks out, deflects off of Lawrence, picks it back up, gets around one man, goes to the sidewall. Shot deflects off of St. Catharines defender, Zach Lawrence chips the puck up, glove down by Raposo. No hand pass from the referee. Then Tito tries to lay a slap shot, but it deflects off the leg in front, and Kennery gets hit into the boards. St. Catharines trying to break out of their own zone, but pressured by the forechecker Hadanaka. Polak goes after Hadanaka. Hadanaka comes up with it, passes down to the defenseman Robertson. Robertson, a weak pass out in front, deflected. Manchester got through. Kennery couldn't get a stick on it. Flipped up, McPhee finds Robertson, who then finds Kennery at the blue line. Kennery has a streaking mare going to the net, but he gets it deflected back out to McPhee. Robertson chips off the stick of Van Loon. St. Catharines in their own end by their bench. Mayer battling along with MacArthur, but he lost the puck. Thrown on by Swick. Chipped into the neutral zone, and it's pushed right back into the St. Catharines zone with Swick. Swick, he gets bumped up after getting rid of the puck, and Romeo throws it across to Dirk Static. Skropolis rings her on the boards. No Avalanche player there to get it. Romeo gets it, but it's outside, deflected. Avalanche go for a change as Swick has it. Dunda across the blue line. Throws a high one off of Dugas, and he gets flattened by Romeo after the play. A bit of a late hit, but some great physicality coming from the Ancaster Avalanche.
They have definitely tuned up their physical play, but this is where, for the Falcons, you really benefit from having a rather large team. A lot of their players are in the 6-foot range, whereas a lot of the Ancaster Avalanche are below the 6-foot range. The Avalanche like to throw their body around, but it seems that the Falcons also like to throw their body around, so this is where their physical dominance in terms of pure size may really help them.
Puck out in front, just tipped wide as it looked like deflected off someone right in front of Ryan Dugas. Woodhouse passes it up to Croucher. Gets pressured by Sullivan. Here comes Woodhouse. Great blocker save from Savory as Woodhouse tried to pick the top corner. Davies gets around Woodhouse, and Sullivan throws it off of the skate of Davies, who circles behind the net. Bridgewater. Pass it across to Croucher. Oh! Big hit by Ober Hekash. He hits the little man Croucher.
And his speed couldn't get away from the check there as Hekash closed him perfectly.
We could see that hit coming right away. Hekash had him lined up and wasn't going to let up on that nice hit. Savory has the puck as it was thrown down by the Avalanche. Falcons wait for a change. Trying to get set up on a breakout. And it's thrown up along the boards, tipped in by Somerville. Robertson behind the net, 2:13 left to go, and he gets hit by Miskolski behind the play. Coming up is Cabral. Backhander thrown out in front. Bro has it now. Bro to Robertson. Back down to Bro. Shot, and he broke his stick on the play. Has to go back to get it. To get a new one, and Zach Lawrence shifts it past Robertson. Here he goes. Scores! Oh my goodness! Zach Lawrence, a snipe past Dugas.
That play really all starts after Nick Bro breaks his stick. Once Bro breaks his stick, he's no longer in the play and has to go back to the bench. So effectively, it's a 5-on-4. But needless to say, Zach Lawrence with some sick skills on that one. He chips it around his defenseman and he walks right in as he went on the short side. And Dugas had gone down a little early and he left a lot of room into the top corner, and Lawrence picked it perfectly.
The speedier Lawrence takes care of Robertson, who isn't as fast as Lawrence, and he makes him pay with a 1-0 lead for the Falcons. 1:35 in the first period. Shot went high as Romeo tried to get towards the net. Van Loon tries to reverse it to Hadanaka, who's getting tied up. Reversed again, and it's Tristan DeJong. Throws it up. Dunda chips it around the defenseman as Smolsky throws it along the boards. Schwick deflected off the stick of Dugas. Romeo banks it for Van Loon as Kennery. Nice dangle. Gets it to Hadanaka. Hadanaka right into Owen Savory as he couldn't find Kyle Kennery on the other side.
Nice couple little chip plays as Kyle Kennery made a little pass that just got into the feet of the defenseman as it was Tanner Brown, who was turned all the way around because he couldn't find where the puck had gone, and Hadanaka was able to walk in and take a nice shot, but a very aggressive Savory is able to come out on top of his crease and cut down the angle to make the save.
Raposo through the screen, great save from Savory. Not sure how he saw it, but he managed to get his pad on it. Thrown up by Macklin. McPhee tries to throw a hit on Somerville, thrown around by the defenseman. 42 seconds left as the Avalanche are offside. Raposo across to Static. Static circles. Raposo gets around two. Offside, takes a late shot. Linesman deems that one to be an offside. And there's some shoveling by Macklin. McPhee.
And the little McPhee taking a couple extra shots as looked like MacArthur had come over to give a few words to Raposo, but to be fair, Raposo shot it right after the whistle, and it was a little bit of a late offside call, so nothing too blatant. I'm sure if the whistle had gone a half second earlier, he wouldn't have taken the shot.
Face off for 27.2 left. Trying to go for a hit was Hadanaka. Can't get it shut. What a shot from Miskolski, but it was off the blocker. Dentino can't get the puck out in front. 10 seconds left in the first period. One last attempt. Static shot just missed wide of Savory. Thrown out in front. One last opportunity for a shot out in front. No good as the buzzer sounds. Avalanche surrender one. Almost tried to get an even tying goal on that last rush, but weren't able to get it. The Avalanche are going to be down 1-0 going into the second period. Join us for some more exciting Avalanche hockey. Welcome back to the Morgan Firestone Arena. The Avalanche currently trail 1-0 to the St. Catharines Falcons on their goal from Zach Lawrence. The Avalanche didn't have too good of a start for the first period. They had most of the play in their own zone. The Falcons did a very good job of cycling the puck and getting the puck down low against them. What do you think the Avalanche have to do to stop the Falcons from executing their cycle play?
Well, they have to do exactly what you said the Falcons did so well in the first period. They have to get on their cycle game. They've tried playing the body. What I've noticed is because they're a lot smaller than a lot of these Falcons players, they end up throwing hits most of the time, ineffective hits. So what they have to do is instead of going on the body, they have to get onto the forecheck. Get on that puck, because you can hit a man only so hard, but if you get on that puck quickly, you can knock it off of even the biggest of guys. Get on that puck, get the forecheck going, and get a cycle game going. You got to get some shots on Savory, because he's going to stop. And if it's only a one and done situation, it's a really easy night for Owen Savory.
And as you mentioned before the first period started, you said the Falcons was the most penalized team in the Golden Horseshoe division, possibly even in the entire league, and yet they came out of the first period with only a power play opportunity, no penalty kill.
Yeah, the Avalanche ended up taking an early penalty. Only one penalty, but no power play goals so far to speak of.
Dante Felicetti at the face-off draw loses it to Ben Hadanaka. Puck thrown up by Dirk Static. Liam Van Loon just missed a heads-up pass from Hadanaka. Thrown on the boards by Owen Savory and Dirk Static. Chases back in his own zone. Static getting hounded and he falls over. Penalty coming up to Felicetti.
I think we spoke a little too soon on that penalty trouble.
And Felicetti's getting a tripping call on some nice play from Dirk Static.
And usually speed will do that if you're able to get some speed.
And Static is down in the corner. Chelsea Corners coming off from the bench.
Although she's been stopped midway as Dirk Static has gone up under his own power. And looks like both she and Static will head back to the bench. Don't forget a little bit of a look over, as he is their leading point scorer for a defenseman. So a little bit of a scary moment there, but Static will be okay, it appears.
9:25 at the time of the penalty to Felicetti, and it's McPhee who has it down at the blue line. Woodhouse circles up. Woodhouse gets the pass back. Shot from McPhee sails over the head of Savory. Croucher passes it down to Bernecki. Puck chipped away from him, but it's put back in by Bernecki. Tries to pass it across, but great sliding block from Tristan DeJean. Bernecki down low to Bridgewater. Great back check and penalty kill, and it's taken away. A penalty coming. Looks like a hooking is going to be going to Matthew Bridgewater.
And you can hear Ken not happy. He does not agree with that penalty. It's a little bit of an iffy call, but he does get his stick that is into the feet of the St. Catharines player, and he does trip him. So unfortunately, it is going to be called, and that'll finish off what would have been their power play, as they only got 37 seconds into the power play.
Michael Davies setting up to the right of Dugas. Tries to get the puck and push it forward, but he can't as Static gets in the way.
Good to see Static back onto the ice so quickly.
2 minutes for tripping at 35 seconds.
Raposo has the puck, pass it across to Dirk Static, who gives it to Liam Van Loon with some speed. Van Loon puts it around Arbor Hekash, and it's shot easily into the body and covered up by Savory.
Liam Van Loon looks like he's been shot out of a cannon this game. He's been using his speed a lot, and you know he's got great hands. So they got to really utilize that he's having a good game so far, and they've got to try to get him the puck as often as they can and try to get it to him when he's got that blazing speed.
And he is a player with that speed in his hands. He's a game breaker for the Avalanche, and he's definitely been a catalyst for their offense this season. As shot from Hadanaka hit the post. Hadanaka had a shot that was deflected by a St. Catharines defender, and it almost went past Savory. Raposo on the turnover, just missed. Fine-tuned the shot just a little too far wide. Van Loon can't get the puck as it's picked up by Busby.
A few great opportunities coming for the Avalanche. And they really need to keep doing this kind of play as they didn't have a lot of it, and here they go again.
Turnover by Static at the other side. Pass across to Van Loon. Check a block, and it's Davies who fell to the ice. He's hurt.
Davies not looking good. That hit him right in the shins, a spot where he wasn't protected.
Roadhouse shot saved by Owen Savory, trying to jam at it was Van Loon. And Davies goes slowly to the St. Catharines bench.
Owen Savory has been at his acrobatic best. He's also been very good positionally, so it's not leaving a lot of room. As you can see, he's a pretty big goaltender in net. And when he gets out on his crease, it's nearly impossible to find a hole. And that's the problem the Avalanche are having. They need to take a couple more steps to move Savory out of position, but he has been so good positionally that those spots just aren't there. But the Avalanche are playing really well right now, and they need to keep this pressure on.
When a goalie's hot, it's hard to beat him when he's in position. So certainly getting him to move a little bit more than what he would like is something the Avalanche need to get on, as there's 10 seconds left on 4-on-4 play. Tyler MacArthur looking to kill off the rest of the penalty of the Falcons. And now it's a brief 37-second power play for St. Catharines. Miskolski shot, took a piece of the pad of Ryan Dugas on a nice cut through the middle. MacArthur throws it across. Great stick play as Joel Adams thought he had a tap in. Great defensive play from Kyle Kennery. From behind the goal, the St. Catharines Falcons looking to break out. They do. Jaleel Adams pass off the stick of Dugas. 4 seconds left in the power play as Miskolski flattens him. Bryce Robertson. Power play over for the Falcons. Back to 5-on-5. Adams banks it. Robertson tries to glove it. Gets hit by Felicetti. And it's turned over by Ryan Durenzis. Jaleel Adams throws it into the Ancaster zone with Romeo pushing it back out. Bro to Romeo, and sticking out his leg was Felicetti on Nick Bro, and he's getting a penalty. Behind the play,
and it's going to be a charging call they're giving it to him.
Behind the play, Bro tried to pass it across to Romeo, and Adams decided to take a little bit of a charge at Nick Bro.
Yeah, they have Felicetti going to the box, and I thought it was going to be maybe a tripping call, because as you called, he stuck his leg out, but they are giving Felicetti the charging call right now. So another great opportunity for the Avs to go on the power play, and hopefully this time they can stay on the power play and not lose their chance.
It'll be hard, but they'll have to crack the wall. That is the first ranked penalty kill, 88%. Nice move from Van Loon. Weaves in and out and shoots it directly to the crest.
Another great way to show that he's having a great game. Look at that nice move he cuts to the inside with, and he shoots it. Although a fairly simple stop for Savory to stop, it's still a challenging play for the defense. So as long as Van Loon can keep opening up some space, he eventually will get a goal.
Hadnaka loses the face-off draw. Deflected out in front. Smolsky throws it up. Somerville throws it off the stick of Dugas, deflects it to the corner. Hadamaka across the dirt, Static. Turns it over to Smolsky. He's got a breakaway short-handed. Smolsky, what a great defensive recovery. A turnover from Static, and he boils himself out.
He got a little lucky. He didn't get called for holding or hooking, but a great defensive play by Static after it was into his feet and he lost it. And Lukas Smilski, he's got 51 points on the year. He's not a guy you want to have going out on a breakaway.
Puck tipped in by Adam Mayer. He's battling along the boards, and it's thrown out by the St. Catharines Falcons.
The Avs shot themselves in the foot a little there, as they only had 4 players on the ice instead of the 5 they should have, especially with them being on the power play.
Puck chipped up by Zach Lawrence. Gloved up by Ryan Dugas. And Van Loon's going at Zach Lawrence. The two are separated by the linesman. Linesman cool, trying to keep them cool-headed. .48 seconds left in the power play for the Avalanche as McPhee circles behind his net, waits for his players to get in position. Puck thrown up. Bronecki right across the Croucher with some speed, and it's a penalty coming up to Bridgewater. An interference as he did a bit too much of a pick on Matt Busby.
This is the second time that Bridgewater has canceled out a penalty or a power play with a penalty of his own as he's going back to the box again, it looks like. Yep, Bridgewater going to the box for an interference call. This time, instead of only getting 30 seconds in, they only have 35 seconds left. So it seems to be that 30-second range is where they tend to either take a penalty or give one up.
And you mentioned shooting themselves in the foot on the power play with only having 4 men. They're not going to shoot themselves in the foot because they have their best penalty killer in the box.
Yeah, the guy with 4 shorthanded goals not playing on the ice right now, that's a big disadvantage for the Avalanche.
Hadnack at the point. Great play to get Davies to circle out of the Ancaster zone.
Although arguably one of their other best penalty killers is on the ice right now with Ben Hadanaka.
Hadanaka hound-dong it, causes MacArthur to turn it over and ice the puck. Great forecheck from Benjamin Hadanaka to cause that icing.
So at the very least, if you're going to have one of your penalty killers off the ice, you'd rather have the guy with the 4 shorthanded goals, but not to be missed is Ben Hadanaka. He's great in the face-off draws. He's also a good physical guy, and the Avalanche have 5 players on the ice right now. Maybe they forgot it's supposed to be 4-on-4 at the moment. But Ben Hadanaka's got a lot of speed. He's got a lot of grit to his game.
Linesman Black telling the Avalanche they had one too many men for at least 13 more seconds. And Dirk Static on a face-off draw has to return back. Avalanche trying to bust up. Nice hit from Tristan DeJong. He hit Raposa, who's going to dump it as the Ancaster Avalanche are now on the penalty kill. 14:09 in the first period. Getting up is Matt Davies. Busby has it at the point. Returns it back to his player at the other end, who's trying to get Miskolski to open up. Dunda passes it down. Ball up to Dunda again. Up is Busby. Shot, hit the blocker as it went through a crowd. Nice shot from Busby. Miskolski at the circle. Getting pressured hard by Adam Mayer. Smolsky pass over for a great blocker save from Ryan Dugas. Had to go across the grain. Great stick play out by Adam Mayer on a centering pass.
Adam Mayer definitely saves a goal as Miskolki was wide open.
Great stick play in front, and it's thrown down. Great defensive play from Kyle Kennery. 19 seconds left in the penalty kill for the Avalanche.
And Ryan Dugas had lost his stick. As you saw, when he went from right to left, he ended up losing it at probably a collision with one of the players, and he just finished going behind the net to go grab it.
Smolsky. Penalty about to end. Won't get a shot on the power play, but it's still possession for the Falcons. Oh, what a glove save! Smolsky. Wow, 2 feet in front of Dugas.
That's the second time Dugas has flashed that glove in this game, but the Falcons had some really good puck movement, and if it wasn't for players like Adam Mayer, he made some wonderful defensive plays on that penalty kill. Definitely going to earn some points on the bench with Ken Piroff. As he broke up a couple of plays, he was hard on the puck, and when you have a guy like Dugas in net, even if you're not in position, he's able to make some great stops like he did.
Nick Bro gets pressured by Adams, who turns the puck over. Adams off the blocker on a long shot against Dugas. Belicetti loses the puck battle to Skropos, who then dumps it to center. MacArthur has Macklin McPhee pressuring him, and McPhee backs off. MacArthur passes the puck up. Puck thrown up by Jaleel Adams, who races in after it, but allows his other player to get there first. Avalanche ringing around the boards. DeJong. Great defensive play from Macklin McPhee. Romeo throws it through the center. DeJong. Adams passes it back to Tristan DeJong. Collects the bouncing puck. Dintino. Shot off the stick of Ryan Dugas. Thrown around, and MacArthur can't get his. Liam Van Loon on Arbor Hekash. Great defensive play by Hekash to stop Van Loon. 11:30 in the second period. No score here in the second period, but still a 1-0 lead for the St. Catharines Falcons. Puck thrown in, bounces to Ryan Dugas, and it's covered up. Face-off coming to his right.
And the Falcons are really putting on the pressure again. As you can see, they're mostly in the zone of the Avalanche this period. As of late, that is. It's been a pretty even affair in total. I would say about even time on attack. The Avalanche have got to be careful with their penalties, though. You know the other team in the Falcons are notorious for taking a lot of penalties. You got to let them give you those power play opportunities because they are not something that you need to take for granted against a really good defensive team.
Puck thrown out by the Avalanche. Grabbing the puck, it's Tanner Brown. 11 minutes in the first period. Thrown across for Ben Whittles, collects it with a skate, tries to throw it across crease to Bridgewater. Man, he's had a few undisciplined penalties in this game, and it's iced by the Falcons.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have number 835-9091, that's 835-9091 on your ticket, you are the lucky winner of our Grassy Pub Shoot-Around.
Face off in the St. Catharines zone to the left of Owen Savory. Puck won by the Ancaster Avalanche. Croucher goes down hard along the boards. McPhee dumps it down to Bridgewater behind the net, who stumbles, can't get to the puck first, but the Avalanche still get there. Robertson across to his defensive partner. Shot tipped out in front. Great defensive play from the Falcons, who dumped the puck out. There's Dintino, who turned that puck over. Great hit from Zach Lawrence on McPhee. He ran him into the boards. Pollock dumps it down to Lawrence. And it's Lawrence who has it, and there's a penalty coming. It looks like
Zach Lawrence got a little too much into the hands of McPhee and Robertson as he took a slashing call there. It was bound to happen. You can see, even on that hit that he went in on Kalen McPhee, a little dangerous as you can see him hit him slightly from behind. I think it was a pretty clean hit, but it was one of those borderline hits. But Zach Lawrence did a very good job of getting it on the forecheck. He just got a little too aggressive.
Once again, the Avalanche are on the power play, but let's see if they can go through this one without taking penalty themselves.
See if they can keep the power play for the first time this game.
I have a feeling Bridgewater might not be getting power play time tonight after those first two opportunities, and it's a nice play from the Falcons in the defensive zone. Somerville on the forecheck.
Not a great way for the Avalanche to start off there. They haven't even had puck possession yet on this power play.
Puck shot at Dirk Static. Puts it down to his hand. Liam Van Loon at the other side. Took a shot that hit a player in MacArthur. Dumps it back down into the Ancaster zone. Still yet with any time on attack on this power play.
They've already wasted over 30 seconds. The first 30 seconds gone in this power play.
Dirk Static by himself with Felicetti attacking him. Van Loon has it. He gets around Dunda. Goes around him once more. Protecting the puck. Van Loon stops up. Passes it just onside with Static. Shot hit Tristan DeJong in the backside. And Van Loon goes for a hit. Wipes out his man along the boards. Van Loon with a dangle. Falls on and
Felicetti getting a 5-on-3. That looks like Felicetti actually taking the penalty. Van Loon is just undressing players, and as you can see, that all started because Van Loon was able to get the zone after some very sloppy passes and very sloppy play from the Avalanche. And of course, once 21's on the ice, anything can happen, and he really drove the offense to get into the zone.
And Felicetti was none too pleased. He thought Van Loon went down a little too easily. Wanted to get a little piece of him after the whistle.
And Dante Felicetti's not had a terribly great game today either. That's already his second penalty of the game as well. So for a guy who's also looking to impress his coach in his first game, not a very good start for him.
Dirk Static on the 5-on-3. 48 seconds left on the 5-on-3. Van Loon shot, hit the blocker. Might have taken a piece of someone else in front. Dirk Static into the goal to Savory. Scores! Bridgewater! Bridgewater gets his redemption on a power play for the Avalanche.
And there you go. Bridgewater makes up for his 2 penalties, and this time with 36 seconds left, the Avs are going to get off the 5-on-3, but with a power play goal. So that 30-second mark seems to be really important for the Avs tonight. That's 3 times in a row on a power play. Something has happened to end a power play. This one for good, though, as they make good on a power play net mouth scrum. And that's definitely going to help Bridgewater, who probably hasn't been felt great about his game tonight.
He might have been in the doghouse a little bit after those first 2 penalties he took, but from his stomach he somehow managed to tip that one through Owen Savory's legs. 1:30 left in the power play for the Avalanche, who look to try to strike again. Swick throws it on the boards, intercepted by Bridgewater. Cabral that is, getting some power play time for the Avalanche as he gets a pass from Benecki at the circle. Bridgewater out in front, tries a snipe one, but he hit the glove of Savory. Somehow keeping the puck into his skill into McPhee as he gets a pass back from Cabral. Benecki tries to tip it out of there. It was Woodhouse battling out in front. There's a scrum out of the net of Savory, and it's punched away by the defenseman. Great play from Tristan DeJong. Cabral, pass back out in front. McPhee has it, fakes the slap shot. Benecki, out to Cabral, blocked well and play by DeJong.
The Avs look like a completely different team on this power play. This unit has been absolutely on fire. The entire power play, they've been in the zone of the Falcons.
Benecki shot low, went through a couple bodies, and it was kicked away by Savory. 17 seconds in the power play. Puck shot is deflected by DeJong once more. He's been the hero for the Falcons in this penalty kill. Back out in front, Savory punches it away. Bridgewater out in front and risks the net, and the power play's over. Woodhouse in and out in front. Cabral lost his stick. Shot missed one, and penalties coming up. Avalanche are getting a penalty as there's a player on top of Savory.
And the Falcons have to be careful. They don't want to take a retaliatory penalty as they look like they're going to get a chance to go up as the Avalanche took it to them on that power play opportunity. Almost an entire minute and a half of zone time, and they had at least 4 or 5 shots, quality chances. But what you're concerned right now is it's taking a little while for Owen Savory to get up. You don't want your star goaltender going down at this time of the year.
And Ben Woodhouse, a guy who likes to go to the front of the net, ended up on top of Savory.
I didn't quite see how he went on. I don't know if he was pushed or if he just found himself falling on top of the goalie.
Nonetheless, he's sitting for 2 or less as the Falcons get their chance on the power play this period. But what a play by Tristan DeJong. If not for him, this could have been a 2-1 game for the Avalanche.
He had an absolutely fabulous penalty kill. As you mentioned, that sliding block, as it was Bridgewater walking in again, a chance for him to score, and he was in the slot. In a great opportunity, and DeJong slid out and blocked it. He got a few tip passes, and he was able to keep the play to the outside to the best of his ability. But an incredible defensive effort from Tristan DeJong, who's also a pretty good offensive defenseman. At least decent for the Falcons. He can contribute both ways, so always good to see.
I counted about 2, maybe 3 shot blocks from DeJong in that last sequence, so Falcons were happy that he was out there as MacArthur couldn't get a pass, and the Falcons have to retreat on the power play. Andrew Somerville waits, passes it over to MacArthur. Across the other side for Zach Lawrence. Back to Somerville. MacArthur throws it around the boards. There's a stick laying on the ice. And an Avalanche player might have broken the stick as Bridgewater can't get the puck. Dirk Static dumps it down. 6:15 left in the second period. 1:17 left in the penalty to Ben Woodhouse. MacArthur tries to throw through the middle, but he ices the puck. Not a very good play from the defenseman, and the Falcons will find themselves back in their own end on the power play. With that last power play, you would think because of the way the Avalanche have been playing, they might get some momentum, get some energy back in their feet based on how that play went. But you also might think the Falcons played so well defensively, it might go to their legs as well.
It can really go both ways. It all depends on how this next minute plays out. If the Avalanche can keep the Falcons out, they will have squandered another chance. And there's another icing call. So really right now, referees are calling it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again.
Referees are having a little discussion at the bench. I thought maybe someone had called for too many men. But if the Avalanche can kill off this penalty and keep the chances as low as possible for the Falcons, they will definitely keep that momentum that they gained.
Face up one by the Falcons. Coming up is Somerville. Great stick check on Davies. Somerville, the defenseman, rushes up, passes it down, but luckily Busby got off the bench and got right into the play. Davies tried to get the puck, but it was deflected, and Miskolski broke his stick on a slap shot. That's the second time that someone is taking a shot from that circle and broken their stick.
And I believe that's the second time Miskolci himself has broken a stick in that spot.
Rushing up is Busby. Not Busby, passes it off. Busby gets the puck, has to be careful of that stick. Dundalk pass it back to Busby, took a deflection off of the defender, and the penalty is now over. Oh, what a hit that was in the corner. The two players are wrestling at the boards. Dundalk takes a shot blocked by Van Loon.
It's actually Luke Croucher in the corner right now.
He seems to be getting down as Woodhouse tries to chase after it. Can't get it as Busby was there, and it was Davies and Croucher who were down in the corner. Out in front, trying to get there. Oh, just missing Woodhouse, who had an empty net to shoot at. And the Falcons counter-attack, falling over on the line was Davies.
He might be feeling the effects of that massive Croucher hit as he was laid out by Luke Croucher earlier.
Falcons for the Avalanche. And it's great defended very well by the Falcons. 4-10 in the second period. Close call as the Falcons had a 4-on-2 to defend, and they managed to defend it very well.
Yeah, very rushed play from Tanner Bernecki as he picked up the puck. He didn't take the time to look up. He just tried to throw it across, and by then it's been intercepted.
Cabral with his hand puts it down and turns it over, but the Avalanche can't keep the puck in. Noah Perlick passes it up to Fulco. Fulco tries to throw it to Perlick, but it was too far ahead of him. Cabral baits it down to Raposo. Van Loon tries to chip it around, but DeJong puts it up to Perlick. Onside are the Falcons on a nice move at the line. From behind the net, Somerville can't get the puck. It was intercepted by the Avalanche, and Dirk Static chipped it up to Van Loon. Van Loon on the off wing shot. Oh, just missing it was Static, and there's a hooking call possibly coming to the Falcons as he got his stick in the hands of Dirk Static.
Van Loon took the shot. It looked like he was purposely intending for that to be a low rebound shot, which is a great shot on your off wing to take. And if not for that hook, I don't know if Dirk Static would have been able to get to it. His wingspan isn't the longest. He's a little bit of a shorter player, but when he rushes up, he's a dangerous guy, and they had to defend him. And that was just out of his reach, it looked like. And if not, it would have been an empty net. And of course, the hook not leading well as they have Somerville going to the penalty box.
3-2, another power play for the Avalanche as they try to get the 2-1 lead with 3 minutes left in the second period. McPhee down to Woodhouse at the circle. Skates to the top of the circle, passes it across. Woodhouse to Bernecki. Bernecki to McPhee. Down to Bernecki at the line. Pass it across to Woodhouse. Woodhouse down low to Bridgewater, and it's a missed pass from Bridgewater. Bernecki has it at the point. McPhee to Bridgewater. Quick pass. McPhee has it. McPhee, nice move around Dintino. Bridgewater behind the net. Great stick lift, and it's thrown out by Tyler MacArthur.
The issue that I would have with that power play from the Avs is, yes, they kept it in the zone. There was no urgency or no danger in the chances they were taking. They were passes all along the outside and all along the point. So it's not like the defense or the goaltender have to do much to defend that.
I guess you could credit the great penalty kill system from the Falcons on that one.
It was very well defended, I would say, by the Falcons.
Van Loon takes a shot, hit Brown in the foot, and he's hobbling. They couldn't get the rebound as it was pushed in front of Savory. 38 seconds in the power play for the Avalanche. Done the digging loose. It's turned over by the Falcons as Carey goes out to run. Hadanaka blocked again by Brown. Thrown on in front. Great save on the rebound from Savory.
What a great pad save from Savory. And Hadanaka's been all over the place on the power play.
He just misses the big man Dunda. 15 seconds left in the power play. And the Avalanche are going to have one last opportunity to try and strike. Van Loon on an aerial pass dumps it down, and that'll do it for the power play. 1 minute left in the period as it's 5:05. Hadanaka getting it on the body on De Jong. A Swick has it. He dumps it up. 2-on-2 now. 3-on-2 for the Falcons. Perlick on a nice play from Bernecki. Tipped it away from him. McPhee fell over. Turned over by Fuoco. And it's De Jong who chips up in the air. Gloved from in front to behind himself was Bernecki. Macklin McPhee to his brother Kalen. McPhee shot, took a chip out in front, and Cabral couldn't get the loose puck. 20 seconds left in the period. Kicked in by Fuoco as Kalen has the puck with 14 left in the period. Rushing up the ice. Deneres can't get the puck. 3 seconds. McPhee has the puck, and it's the buzzer for the second period. Avalanche managed to strike on the power play on a goal from Matthew Bridgewater. Avalanche will head in the third period tie. Join us for some more Avalanche hockey.
You are the contestant for a brassy.
Atmosphere is strong. The intensity is heating up, and the third period is starting. Welcome back to the Morgan Firestone Arena. I'm Eric Howlett. Joined with me is my brother Hayden Howlett. And this is a period that will obviously define who will win this game, but most likely will be a close matchup as it has been all game long. Savory and Dugas have been stealing the show. Hayden, what do you think each team has to do to beat their respective goaltenders?
Well, the only thing that seems to have worked for both teams is just taking a lot of shots on each goalie. The strikeout game hasn't particularly been in favor of either team. So at this point, all you got to do is take some shots. They've been some that have beaten both goaltenders but have not gone in, and of course both goaltenders has only been beat once this game. So I think the best opportunity for both of these clubs is to just unleash a bullet storm of pucks on the other goaltender.
Out in front, partial break for Bridgewater, almost banks it in, and almost Stevie, but managed to get out of the way, and a great start for the Avalanche with a shot, with an attempt for a goal already.
10-minute misconduct.
William Dunda throws it up, and it was wrapped around the boards as Felicetti has it. Felicetti gets hit down. Nice play from Bridgewater. Van Loon tries to put it down with his hand. He's onside. Van Loon gets hit away from the puck on a great defensive play from Somerville. On the other end, Dunda. Pass it across to Felicetti. The net's off on a nice backhand pass. Felicetti hit the side of the goal. Both teams, not even a minute into this game, grow their quality chances.
Matthew Bridgewater and a little bit of a turnover and a great pass to feed him right up the middle. He almost shoots it in and then has it bank off of him, but it goes to the corner. And then you have the rush coming up the ice, and Felicetti just misses tapping out in the empty net.
Puck pushed up, shot right onto the pad of Dugas. Jaleel Adams battling with Bryce Robertson. Helping out is Michael Davies. He falls down. So does Bryce Robertson. McPhee throws it over to Robertson. Puck lifted into the center ice. There's Cabral. The former Blind Beaver tries to put it on net. He does, but it's stopped by Savory. Michael Davies puts the puck up. Pass across to Adams. Across the Ancaster line. Somerville has the puck in his feet, gets it back, passes it down to Swick. Shot just missing the goal of Dugas through a crowd. Somerville tried to find Adams. Swick gets the puck on a diving attempt from Woodhouse that ends up working as the Falcons can't regain possession in the zone. Tristan DeJean gets around McPhee, who falls down. Lawrence streaks in, but it's Romeo who steals it from him. Turnover by Romeo. Pushed out in front, and Lawrence gets a stick on it, but he deflects it over the net.
No, Romeo gets a little bit lucky. He tries the backhand pass up the middle. It's intercepted by Zach Lawrence, who was able to get a quick shot on goal, and then a deflection that ends up putting it right out of play. So a little bit of luck going the way of the Avalanche right there.
.250 gone in this first period as it's poked up at the line. Avalanche have it with Raposo, passing it across to Wienecki. Savory has it, puts it onto his defenseman, Miskolski. Across center, but it's poked away by Macklin McPhee, and it's covered up by Ryan Dugas. McPhee drives Miskolski and takes a few shots at Miskolski.
And Macklin McPhee, the younger brother of Kalen McPhee, the older brother of Kalen McPhee, he's a Wolverine from the Manitoba Junior Hockey League. Steve Hodgson, who ended up getting him to come play on the team, describes him as a guy who plays tough, and he's a physical guy. And as you can see right there, showing he's a little bit of a very physical guy. He goes to the net, ends up pushing around Tanner Brown, who had somehow found his way to the front of the net. And it looks like it'll just be some coincidental roughing penalties for both Macklin McPhee and the
Henry seems to be the one getting the penalty.
Going to they have Miskolki also going to the box.
And earlier, Luke Croucher was assessed a 10-minute misconduct for what happened at the end of the second period, which is why he's currently in the box.
So new guys were welcome to the team, and they, as opposed from just Cabral, who I think has had a pretty good night, both McPhee and Denery haven't been as noticeable, I find, on the ice tonight. Haven't heard much of their names, and they haven't been too instrumental to play. I find Cabral has had a decent night, not a great one, but maybe with some open ice, they might be able to get some ads. It looks like the Avalanche will end up with the power play after this.
Miskolski seems to have picked up an extra penalty. Not quite sure what the ref has called, but nonetheless, a power play for the Avalanche.
Maybe an extra roughing, I think?
Possibly, but the sixth power play of the night for the Avalanche. The power play has only they've only struck once on the power play, as Hadnaka on the face-off draw loses it to Smilski, but dumped around, and at the blue line was Van Loon, dumps it around, but it ends up coming out of the zone. Hadnaka drops it to Dirk Static, who almost turns it over. Van Loon getting watched by Smilski. Two high-end talents on the ice right now. Hatanaka reverses, and the Avalanche are having trouble. They look like they're taking too long to pass the puck, and they're finally out as Van Loon tries to bang it on two people. He gets shoved to the ice and crashes into the net.
Shocked to not see a penalty on that when he was dragged down from his neck, it looked like.
Tyler MacArthur.
He and MacArthur have been going at it all night. Something between those two, a little bit of bad blood, it seems.
Tyler MacArthur is not happy with all the dangles that Van Loon's been throwing, so he decides to throw him down to the ice.
Well, I guess that's one way to get rid of the guy.
One way to stop a guy from getting around you is to go through him.
Got to be careful when you play that way, though.
At the time your checks properly, make sure not to get your hand on a guy. If not, you might end up with a penalty. Static has the puck at the blue line. Shot, go through a crowd. Savory has it, and it's coming up.
Savory doing a great job of tracking that one through a screen. Dirk Static really let it rip.
And Static is showing you why he's the best defenseman on the roster. He somehow manages to get those shots through, knowing that he managed to get them low, which is always hard for goalies. One, it's through screen, and two, it's low, and those are always some of the hardest shots to save, and there's a penalty coming up to the Avalanche.
2 minutes for face masks.
Hooking looks like it's going to be going to Van Loon.
St. Catharines, Dakota, Wispolsky. 2:33, 2 minutes for face masks.
Adam Mayer actually going to the box.
2 minutes for face masks. 2:33.
So I think Adam Mayer has had a very, very good night, especially defensively. Offensively, he's not usually in zone, but he's been on for the penalty kills, and he's been able to make some really good defensive plays in his own zone. He was also instrumental in the very first power play for the Falcons to help kill it off for the Avalanche.
Face-off one, just keeping it in was Tyler MacArthur. It was millimeters from coming out, but he somehow managed to keep it in. Smolsky, what a nice cutback. Tries him on the backhand, but he lost his footing, lost his hands, and he wasn't able to get the backhand off. 45 seconds left on 4-on-4. Passed across by McPhee to Bonecki. McPhee gets the pass back. Circles and waits. McPhee starts to rush up. Bonecki gets the puck on his backhand, goes down low, but Tyler MacArthur intercepts him. MacArthur in another icing. MacArthur's passes have just been off tonight, as that's about the fourth icing he's caused.
Yeah, he hasn't had a terribly great night trying to break out the offense. He's played pretty well defensively, at least. And he's a very imposing body. You can tell just by looking at him. He's a rather large guy. So physically, he's been very good tonight. Unfortunately, those breakout passes have not worked for him.
Adnaka facing off, loses it, and the Falcons start their breakout. Stopping up was DeJong. Oh, what a hit on Felicetti by Hatanaka. Two small guys, and Felicetti luckily only got the shoulder of Hatanaka.
That head, though, it snapped right back when it smacked him dead straight in the shoulder.
Falcons about to go in the power play as their penalty is over. And it's a heads-up pass. Here he comes, Macklin McPhee, and he gets run into Savory. What a heads-up pass, and Macklin McPhee almost got his first with the Avalanche. Shot bouncing off the pad of Dirk Static, who got in the way. Davies passes it down to Tristan DeJong. Defensive hero trying to turn offensive hero. Shot down low, hit the skate of Raposo. 20 seconds left in the Falcons power play. Somerville may pass to DeJong, who passes it down low. Out in front, Dunda tries to get under the pad. Net is knocked loose. And once again, the goaltender is pushed into his own net by an opposing player.
But that was a really nice right pad save by Ryan Dugas, as both goaltenders get run into. But after the play, Macklin McPhee gave a little bit of an I'm sorry tap to Owen Savory. At least from here, that's what it looked like. We don't know exactly what he's saying. But it looked like it was a little bit of a dude, sorry, didn't mean to do that.
Then Savory gave him a little tap.
Savory probably gave him a, yeah, that's okay, don't do it again, though. But this time Ryan Dugas gets run into, but he made a phenomenal right pad save As that was in front, it was Liam Dunda looking for his first goal of the year.
Coaching staff trying to get all the players they want out.
Looks like Davies got kicked out for Dunda, though, on the face-off draw.
Power play about to end for the Falcons. It's now over as it's 5-on-5 and another icing call against the Falcons.
This one, Busby just completely misses his target and ends up all the way down the ice. So the Falcons had a decent power play. They had a few good shots, but more or less it was the best chance I would say would have had to have gone to the Avalanche on that quick little breakout pass.
Referees notice there's one too many Avalanche on, so it's Cabral who ends up having to come off. Nick Pro taking the face-off in the offensive zone. Put right behind the net, and Summerlin who stops up. He's got Muskowski on the other side, decides to pass it. Nice moves around the defenders. Dunda throws it across. Dintino throws it high off the blocker of Dugas. Puck in the air, kept by Macklin McPhee. Throws it to Bro off his skate. Skates after it. Gets it on the check. Manages to get onside, and the Avalanche battling for the puck. Falcons get the puck as it's Brown who passes it across. Dintino gives it up, but Dintino picks it right back. Romeo Dintino. A little move around McPhee. McPhee shoulders him off, and it's Ben Hadanaka with Bro. Nick Bro. Shot into the glove of Savory, who saw it all the way. Whistle blown by the referee.
I haven't seen a lot of Nick Bro tonight, but he seems to have some pretty impactful shifts as he appears to be playing on a lower line unit than most other players. But he's good at using his body. He doesn't have necessarily the best hands out there, but I think Bro's had a pretty good night tonight.
He's a big guy, 5'11", 213, so when he throws his weight, you really feel it. And Bro has done a pretty good job of throwing his weight around, just hasn't done much offensively, as you mentioned. And Hadanaka tries to throw it out, and it's deflected away by Arbor Hikash. And there's a penalty coming to Arbor Hikash after the play.
This is penalty number, what is this now, 7 or 8? It's hard to keep track with all these penalties the Falcons keep taking, although the Avalanche have taken about almost the same amount. They've taken about 6 tonight.
So a very undisciplined game for both sides, as Van Loon has drawn the ire of a lot of the defensemen for the Falcons. They don't want him skating around them anymore. And
well, when a guy can make you look silly, you really don't like him all that much, and he's done a pretty good job of doing that to a few players.
Hikash decided to take it in his own hands and got a bit of a holding call on Van Loon, who's out on the point. Van Loon holds the puck and dumps it down behind the net of Savory.
That's a formation the Avalanche really like. They like having Van Loon at the point, having 4 forwards and a defenseman.
Adam Mayer getting some power play time. Static has it. Hadanaka to Static. Van Loon at the circle. Shot into Savory. Not a very good angle on that one, and Savory had no one in front of him, so he got a clear lane and made the save.
It's good puck movement, but if you're going to shoot the puck from that angle, you're definitely going to want to make sure that someone's there to tap in the rebound or at least screening the goalie. They did have someone in front of the net, but he really wasn't doing a very good job of getting in the eyes of Savory.
12:56 in the third period, 1-1 the score. Hadanaka rings it around. Kyle Kennery throws it for Static at the point. Static has Van Loon at the other side, tries to dangle, can't get it. It's covered up by Savory, and as we've mentioned many times before, that net came off a little too easily.
We should make our own little segment called How many times does that post come off? And we should hold like a contest. Whoever can guess before the game how many times it comes off to win a prize. You could easily make that. These posts come off very, very easily.
Win a t-shirt if you guess how many it is.
I guess the posts, would be the caption on the shirt.
Shad tries to cut out in front. It's intercepted by a defender, and it's dumped down to Ryan Dugas. Just over a minute in the power play for the Avalanche. Hikash in the box for the Falcons. Van Loon Gets around and falls down. He goes hard on the boards. Gets right back up though. Dumped down, and Static has to retreat and get the puck as the Avalanche go for a change. So do the Falcons. Eight minutes gone in this first period as the Avalanche find themselves on the power play looking to get the go-ahead goal. Cabral loses the puck. Rings it around, down low is Bridgewater. Cabral. Down low to Bernecki. Cabral. Slap shot just missed the top corner. Cabral looked like he was trying to wire that past Savory.
You can see with that kind of shot why he was able to score 50 goals with his midget team. That was a bullet.
Tyler MacArthur dumps it down. Penalty about to expire. It does as Miskolski finds Zach Lawrence. Lawrence out in front, chipped on a great defensive block from Bernecki. Cabral gets hit by Miskolski. Noah Polick rushing after the defenseman, and Bernecki spins around. McPhee passes it to Bridgewater. Bridgewater gets tied up a little bit with the feet of Bernecki, and it's coming out as Bridgewater. Bridgewater tries to get around too many guys, and it's poke checked away from him. A weak back pass from Davies picked up, thrown off the stick and pad of Dugas. Raposo turns the puck over at the circle, pushed back around the boards. Dirk Static gets tripped up by the attacker, Matthew Davies.
And here we go with penalty number 9 for the Falcons.
And it'll be Davies who touches up as he gets hit by...
And that'll be another penalty coming up, except this time to the Avalanche, a very undisciplined play by Mike Cabral.
I believe that might be Macklin McPhee.
You're right. My apologies. It is Macklin McPhee. So that's the second time that he's trying to take his physicality a little too far.
Last call, beer garden.
Kind of saw what looked to be a little bit of a dirty look that head coach Ken Piroff was giving his player McPhee, as that was an unnecessary play to say the least from McPhee. As Davies already touched the puck, penalty was already coming, and then he decided to throw the late hip check for no reason. Not a very good play from McPhee.
Probably trying to send a message to Davies. Davies is in fact being escorted off by the linesman. Trying to send a message, don't take it liberties at our defenseman. But at the cost of a power play, not a very smart move, especially when you're in the third period and halfway through this period.
There's a better way to tell people to lay off. Go score a goal against them. That'll really show you, hey, we don't need to beat you up to prove our point. We'll just put more pucks behind your goalie than you can put behind ours. Michael Davies actually coming back onto the ice, so I think maybe a little bit of a equipment malfunction was what brought him off the ice. And we will see, it looks like the faceoff's going to be coming inside the Avalanche zone. Oddly enough, it looks like they've made the penalties coincidental at this point. So it'll continue to be 5-on-5.
And if you can, do you bench McPhee for next game?
I don't know about next game, but for the rest of this game, I know if I were him, I don't think he'd be getting much time.
Well, let's see what Ken does as it's...
I believe in giving players an extra chance, but he's definitely on a short leash right now.
5 minutes, 2-on-1, Hatanaka. Nice sliding block from Tristan DeJong, another defensive play from him.
Guess who is making another fantastic play? DeJong's been all over the place. Not for him, it's like a second goalie out there for the Falcons.
He slid perfectly in front of Hatanaka, who had nothing to do, or who could do nothing on that defensive play, and Hatanaka turns it over, tries to find Van Loon, and instead passes it to Perth Swick. Hatanaka has the puck on a turnover, tries to find Van Loon, and he aerials it too far, and St. Catharines tries to get it. Van Loon, great forecheck on Liam Dunda. Turned over once more, Bridgewater in the slot, pass it in front, Van Loon gets a face wash from Perth Swick. and covered up by Savory.
That's some great forechecking from the Avalanche, but Benjamin Hatanaka has got to capitalize on his chances with some shots. That's 2 times that he has had grade A chances to shoot and pass off. Once he saw that DeJong went down on the 2-on-1, he should have known that's his chance to shoot it. He's too close to do a chip pass over to him. So at that point, take your shot. Another chance where he walks in, the pass that he's making to Van Loon is too high and too hard. Ben Hatanaka's had a wonderful night. He's just got to shoot a little bit more often.
And turnovers galore for the Falcons as the Avalanche were all over them. They could have cost themselves a goal if not for Savory. Zach Lawrence has the puck on the breakout. Jaleel Adams shot high, hit the blocker, and goes out of play.
That was a rocket of a wrist shot from Askolki, but a great play by Dugas to deflect it high. And that brings the face off to his left.
9:05 in the third period. Adams picks up the puck on a face-off win from Dintino. MacArthur throws it down low, battling for it, but Ryan Dugas square to the shot, makes an easy save. Each team, they're getting their chances. But when you try and beat a goaltender out from the point like that with a shot that doesn't have much muster on it, it will be hard to beat them. And each team seemed to have been doing that a lot in this game.
When you take, like you said, when you take a shot from the point, your best bet is to either shoot it so hard the goalie can't see it, or shoot it through a crowd so once again he can't see it. And neither team has really been able to do that, at least not with regularity.
Trying to get out, Cabral turns it over. Down lower, the Falcons. Adams up to Hikash. He has it now. Arbor Hikash, and it's blocked out in front, and Cabral has it on a partial break. Great play from Tyler MacArthur, and Croucher couldn't find McPhee at the other side, or Static at the other side. Puck lifted up, and seems to be a lot of screaming about.
Tyler MacArthur was all over Mike Cabral in the corner as he wouldn't let the player get up. The two were more or less wrestling after a while.
Not the first time we've seen that tonight.
But the Avalanche got really lucky, but they had a couple great plays. Adam Mayer, once again, he has been so good at getting a stick in the lane. Another block pass that he makes, he gets in the lane, and then Mike Cabral makes a nice block to lead him out. But they got lucky because Derek Raposo had lost his stick. So they were essentially on a 5-on-3 because the man has no stick, but they were able to clear the puck and get a chance. Or a 5-on-4, not a 5-on-3.
Van Loon tries to get it, but Tanner Brown with an active stick takes it away. Kalen McPhee to Van Loon. Throws one on net, and Savory easily gloves it. Another long shot that Savory sees. And unless we're hoping for a Bryce Robertson goal, highly doubt that those shots are going to be going in. Brady Rutherford, my bad. Robertson has the puck, throws it in, and once more a whistle will cause a face-off to the right of Owen Savory.
See, the difference between Charles Grimard, who was the Welland goaltender, and then you have Owen Savory is very good with his senses. He always seems to see the puck. He's very athletic, but he's always in position. So even if that puck does get flipped by him, he should be able to make the stop either from his positioning or just from his pure athleticism.
Niskolski takes a shot that's deflected wide off the stick of an Avalanche. DeJong, he's been a key player for the Falcons tonight as he dumps it on Dugas. McPhee throws it up to Robertson. He finds Van Loon. He's got an inside step. Van Loon! What a play! He runs into Savory, who looks like he's hurt. And Tyler MacArthur taking a little exception on that. And this is not looking good for Owen Savory.
Owen Savory is only just getting to his knees, but he's not getting there fast. And I think that collision definitely hurt him. As Liam Van Loon went to the net, but it looked like Tyler MacArthur gave him a quick shot because Liam Van Loon has got some speed and skill, and he wouldn't have crashed the goalie otherwise. Obviously, without the ability to see the replay and without a little bit of time to see the slow motion, it did look like MacArthur took an extra shot because he's been going at him all night. But definitely the concern right now is with the star goaltender for the Falcons.
He's being attended to by the staff, and he's now back to his feet, getting himself adjusted.
One thing for the Falcons, you've got to be upset. That's about the third time tonight that your goalie has been run over, and not just like light little bumps. This is the third time he has been flat on his stomach after players have run into him, although a couple of times have been self-inflicted, as it appears the Falcons getting a little too pushy, we'll say, near the front of the net, have shoved some of the players for the Avalanche into Owen Savory. But the Avalanche definitely I've got to be careful of going in front of the net, because it's definitely going to be a little touchy subject for the Falcons, especially with how many times it's happened tonight.
Some people say it's a dirty play. Some people say it's a very good strategy because it throws the goalie off his game.
I'm personally on the side that that's dirty. I don't think you should be going at the goalie like that. There are different ways to get into the goalie's head. I don't think sliding into him is one of them.
Cabral takes the face-off and loses it. MacArthur rings it around. Puck shot up, and it's just missed wide of Ryan Dugas. 7 minutes left in the third period. Falcons battling on the boards as Smilsky has it. Shot took a deflection off of Liam Van Loon trying to defend, and it's Dirk Static rushing up, gets the puck out. Mike Cabral to Woodhouse, to Van Loon, back to Woodhouse. Throws it down, and Woodhouse takes a nice hit. Van Loon just misses a pass out in front. MacArthur takes a hit from Woodhouse. Mayer goes after Smilsky. MacArthur throws it along, and it's pushed back up by Dunda. Liam Dunda tries to find Smilsky just out of his reach as McPhee throws it around the boards, and it's intercepted by the Falcons. Back out in front, spinning. It's Busby. Put back down by Tanner Brown. Centered in front, and it's tipped away. Busby off the blocker. Dugas comes way back to the center ice after it's dumped back out by the Avalanche. Hand pass called by the linesman as Brown hit it to his own player. Falcons came really close to scoring there, and the Avalanche need to be a little bit tighter through the center, as multiple times the Falcons have been able to get it between the circles and almost get a shot off.
Yeah, the Avalanche have got to stop those Falcons players from getting the line with speed. That's the most dangerous way to enter the zone. If you can make them have to start and stop, you'll be in a much better defensive position.
Tristan DeJean down in the corner with 5:30 left in the game. Dirk Static starts up with a cross-crease pass to Raposo, who turns the puck over. DeJong takes a hit and dumps it in. Kennery lays a light hit on Adams and pins him to the boards. Puck gets thrown behind the net. Raposo off the glass and high, kept in by MacArthur, and it's bouncing off of a Avalanche skate. Adams first to get to the puck. Adams throws it along, and he gets a return pass from Raposo. Dintino working in on Static. Avalanche get the puck back with Raposo trying to find Van Loon with an outside step again on MacArthur. Here he goes, Van Loon off the side of the net. What a nice rush once more. The second time in a row he sped right past MacArthur, and Liam Van Loon just can't buy one past Savory.
Owen Savory tracked him beautifully, but this is another play where Tyler MacArthur, that is, knows that he has no chance in foot speed, as Liam Van Loon is one of the fastest on the ice right now. and he has been absolutely on fire. I'm amazed he has not been able to find himself on the scoreboard so far tonight. But as you can see, anytime he goes near the net, you're almost a little nervous that he might accidentally fall right into the goaltender.
And Van Loon's about to take a tripping penalty. He was reaching.
And Van Loon claiming that Somerville jumped, but I don't think he's going to fall on deaf ears for this time.
Van Loon got a little bit too far on his reach and got the skates of Somerville, who fell down. And this could be a risky penalty for Van Loon. The fourth best power play, running at almost 22.5%. Looking to try and strike late in the third period. Smilsky to Busby, but it's too far out of his reach, so the Falcons have to tag up.
It's actually a surprising statistic. They have the fourth best power play at 22%, but they have not scored a single power play goal tonight, as the Avalanche have done a very good job of keeping them out of the zone. And Dugas has played phenomenally as well. Avalanche
sport the 8th best penalty kill at 85%. Explains why they've done so well. Poked out in front. Tapped it. Oh, what a save! What a great save from Dugas. That was almost tapped into the net. A cross-crease pass to Smilsky. Off the glove of Dugas in front. Smilsky once more. It's a pile up in front of Dugas. And it's tripped out as there's over a minute left in the power play. Busby. Cross-crease. Just missing Smilsky. And Busby has it. Busby shot out in front. Back in, just missing the net. Liam Dunda had a great chance to get the go-ahead goal. Missing it, and the net comes off. Coaching staff for the Falcons not too happy with that net coming off.
They feel it was intentional, but Ryan Dugas deserves a rest and an applause. He was phenomenal on that net front scrum, as he had to make a handful of saves in a matter of seconds, and without him in net right now, the Avalanche could easily be down big time in this game.
Same thing could be said about Savory too.
Savory has played very, very well. Like I said at the beginning of the game, this is a battle of which goalie wants it more. And right now, I can't tell you which goalie wants it more. They're both playing phenomenally.
Falcons have it in the offensive zone. DeJong, quick pass from Adams. DeJong, low shot kicked out by Dugas, gets the rebound. 35 seconds left in the penalty kill for the Avalanche. Face off coming to the left of Ryan Dugas. Romeo Dentino taking the face off. Winning it was Hadanaka, and it's dumped down the ice by Brunecki. Puck thrown across. Zach Lawrence on the other side. Dentino lost it behind himself, and it's aerialed up. Hadanaka racing after it, and DeJong gets there. Manages to slow him up a little bit. Zach Lawrence gets in the way and steals it from Hadanaka. 3 seconds left on the power play. It's over, and it's 5-on-5. Dentino. From behind the goal, MacArthur. Throws it, bounces off of Dirk Steyer's stick, and it's wrapped around the boards by Andrew Somerville. Almost 2 minutes left in the third period. Still no decisive winner in this game. Raposo. Quick pass to Brunecki and Woodhouse. Bounces over a stick, and just onside was Van Loon. Shot just missing there on a quick shot from Croucher. Brought down by Brunecki. Great offensive keeping. Van Loon has it down low. Woodhouse gets thrown down by MacArthur. Oh, and a dangerous hit as he nails Van Loon, who goes awkwardly into the boards. Matt Busby, an undisciplined hit, and he's giving the Avalanche another power play.
And you got to think that in the eyes of the Falcons, Van Loon has this kind of treatment coming. He has been a marked man all night. Obviously, no player should be hit in that area. That is just a very dangerous, undisciplined hit. And Liam Van Loon is the star player for the Avalanche. You don't want to see him go down, but good on him to get back up and get back out there. And right now, the Avs have a minute and 41 left in this period with the power play. And if it goes to overtime, they'll have a 19-second power play to start it off, which will be very beneficial to them with the extra ice.
Busby's getting escorted off.
Likely his night is over. Most likely a misconduct. So some very valuable time here for the Avalanche to set up and get a late winner here against the Falcons.
And there's a timeout being called by...
Looks like Ken calls the timeout. You can tell the coach who called the timeout when they've got their little whiteboard before the other coach. Although Ken's is a little bit green, so...
Ken and company hoping to draw up a plan that will beat Owen Savory for the second time tonight. Falcons are hoping to draw up a scenario where they can keep out the Avalanche. Just a matter of who executes it better.
The one thing you got going for the Falcons is that the Avalanche power play has only struck once tonight. Their power play percentage has been very poor, not for lack of effort though. They've been very good on most power plays. Some of them not been very good. Some have been cut short. The Falcons have been decent tonight at killing off penalties. They've gotten a lot of great goaltending, and I feel like that's if that's really the key for the Falcons tonight, especially for their penalty killing.
Hadanaka, a very important offensive zone draw. He loses it, but Bridgewater intercepts. MacArthur gets in the way, and it's Woodhouse who passes it down to Van Loon at the point. Dirk Static. Aerial pass to Hadanaka. Bridgewater back to Hadanaka, who's covered at the point. Bridgewater tries to stuff it. Hit the stick as Savory goes to the other corner. Woodhouse. A bit of a wrap around his player, and Van Loon keeps it in. Almost an ill-advised pass, but Woodhouse keeps the puck in. Ben Woodhouse puts it down to Bridgewater, who's always down below the goal line. Van Loon and Static play catch. Static through his crowd. Didn't look like it was seen by Savory at first. Static has the puck shot into the goal of Savory, who saw it that time. .54 seconds left in the third period. Still a 1-1 game. Avalanche hoping to strike for the second time today on the power play. They had some good movement on that power play. They got some shots through. They just didn't get it through Savory.
This power play unit has definitely been the best of the two, and it looks like now a timeout has been called from the Falcons. So an extra minute has now been added to the game, even though we have less than that currently still in the game. The Falcons, what they have to do is they got to keep the passing to the outside. If they can keep the passing to the outside, Owen Savory can do the rest of the heavy lifting, and then they can hopefully get themselves to overtime. And that's really, if you're the Falcons, that's what you want. You want to get to overtime where you still have the chance to go on offense. The Avalanche would prefer to end it on this power play.
The Avalanche have won a few overtime games here on home ice. They have yet to lose an overtime game at the Morgan Fire Center Arena, so overtime bodes well for them.
And they only have one tie on the year so far.
So you know that the Avalanche...
They like to decide their games decisively.
The Avalanche, either way, are most likely end up looking good in this situation as Hadanaka wins a face-off draw. Static, pass it across, shot, hit a body in front. It was Tristan DeJong, and Ben Woodhouse can't get the puck as it's aerialed out.
If you had him on your fantasy team, Tristan DeJong is doing everything for you tonight. Probably about 7 or 8 block shots just in this game alone.
Dirk Static, 30 seconds left in the third. Hadanaka tries to get around a few guys, but it's deflected out by the Falcons. Van Loon dumps it up after he gets pushed off by Moskolski. Once more tipped out. 13 seconds as the Avalanche are going to have one last opportunity for a rush. They decide they want to go to overtime, so it's kicked in the corner by Hadanaka. Clock counts down to 0. And we will be going to overtime. The Falcons and the Avalanche both getting a point tonight. Right now, both teams are looking for that very important extra point.
And the most dangerous man on the ice right now is definitely Liam Van Loon. He's had a great game. His speed has been at the forefront. But more than that, he also leads the team in game-winning goals. He's also won 2 double overtime games already this year.
13% Catharines, 31.
He really likes scoring, especially against the Canucks. Those are the team. That's the team he really likes scoring against. But let's see if the Avalanche can win here in overtime against the Falcons. They will, like I said, get an 18-second power play to start it off.
Obviously, we like Van Loon. We think he's going to be the difference maker in overtime. Assuming the Falcons get through this, who's your man to score the overtime winner for them?
I think the Falcons, they've really been playing by committee tonight. No one has really stood out as as the best player. But Romeo Dentino has had a better third period than anybody. I feel like he might be the guy to get it. And if I'm the Avalanche, I'm still going with my pick for Van Loon.
It'll be an 18-second 4-on-3 here in overtime as we're about to get underway. The decisive goal will be coming next, hopefully, within this next 5 minutes. If not, we'll go to a double overtime. Hadanaka at the faceoff draw wins it to McPhee. Dirk Stadig to Kalen McPhee. Crosses with Van Loon. McPhee stops up. 5 seconds left on the power play. Trying to throw it in front. Power play now over. It's going to be 4-on-4 action. Van Loon hound-dogging Smalski, and he hacks him down, but no penalty. Out in front, Dugas makes a save, trying to jam it at the side of the goal was Dunda. Hadanaka plays it back to his defenseman. It's McPhee. Bernecki has it. Pass it to the other side to Ben Woodhouse. Gets it on DeJong. Woodhouse loses it to MacArthur, who puts it to DeJong. DeJong finds MacArthur, who then finds Jaleel Adams. Adams on the right side, tries to go top corner, trying to beat Dugas the same way that Lawrence beat him back in the first. Dugas keen to that shot, gets his blocker high, and deflects it out of the play. That seems to be the shot that the Falcons really want to work. They made it work once, but they seem to like to go blocker side high on Dugas.
Yeah, they've noticed that Dugas does go down a little early sometimes, so the best way to beat a goalie who goes down is to go over him. And right now, Dugas has been beaten once, but he's pretty privy to that now. So even though if he does go down, he might be baiting them to try to shoot high.
Luke Croucher has Jaleel Adams all over him, stops up and falls. He loses the puck, gets it back, great play, and it's Bridgewater who throws it down to Woodhouse. 3 forwards on this lineup right now as Bernecki has a chance, passes it back to Bridgewater, who falls over, somehow gets his stick in the way to stop a potential turnover, shot into the chest of Savory, and he covers up.
Bridgewater getting a little lucky as he falls over and slides, but his man goes right by him, and he's able to get the puck back up and get a shot on goal.
seems that Macklin has gotten a little more faith in Ken as he's currently taking a face-off draw with also newcomer Michael Cabral. Miskolski. He's got Van Loon pressuring him and he passes it down to Ekash. It's Macklin McPhee. Pass it into the feet of Van Loon. It's turned over. Trying to dance around McPhee, but it's turned over by Miskolski as Van Loon takes a shot deflected off the stick of Arbor Ekash. Miskolski does a leg sweep on Van Loon and falls over. Spinning around. It's Cabral. Throws out in front and Bridgewater can't get it as Arbor Ekash chips it up. Smilski. Out in front, just missing that shot was Felicetti. He could have ended in overtime when he fanned it as Hadanaka comes the other way. Hadanaka tries to bank it, but it goes behind the net of Savory. Just under 2 minutes left in overtime. Breaking through Somerville. He's got a chance. Scores! What a rush from Andrew Somerville. He ends it. And the St. Catharines Falcons gets that ever so elusive second point.
And that's Andrew Somerville's first goal. You never guess it. His first goal of the year is an end-to-end beauty. Unfortunately, the Avalanche deserved a better fate, but it was a good game overall for both teams. Unfortunately for the Avalanche, they don't get that second point, but they do keep their lead with an overtime loss.
The first overtime loss here on home ice is a winner. The first of the season for Andrew Somerville on an end-to-end rush. The Falcons win 2-1. Join us next week for another Ancaster home game.